All right, folks, you know what time is it? It's 10 o'clock p.m. And it's time once again for the midnight run, the very last one for March. It is March 31st. We are 6 days away from my 46th birthday. I was actually testing out the new speakers I got. They're Bose. They're a little bit too loud, so I'm going to probably get a pair of Rolands here. But figured I'd go and play a little bit of intro music since we still had 10 minutes left. But I hope you guys are doing well. Now, I've been talking about doing another show probably on Saturday. Because a lot of my people from the United Kingdom, you know, when I'm doing this show around 10 o'clock p.m., it's actually much later. It's like 1 a.m. So I'm probably going to do a midnight run UK version that starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be the same as 10 o'clock p.m. In the UK. So we'll give that try there. There will be a birthday stream, Wally, but of course, since it's my birthday and I'll probably be at some party or drunk as hell, you know, it may be just limited to an hour. But I will stream on my birthday, folks, just for you guys, you know. All right? And I'll have a nice cigar or pipe, actually. Tobacco pipe, not a crack pipe or anything. But yes, I was going and playing Boss Nigga, you know, and stuff. Yes, it said the N-word, but, you know, this is the Midnight Run. I am the VINCE. Keep it real around here. You know, I want to make sure we preserve the classics from the 70s and the 80s and the 60s and 50s. Because remember, folks, when you don't talk about history, it's easily forgotten. Bean Smasher, I am not gonna stream Bucka Naked, alright? You will not see my public hairs. Just saying, you know. If you want to see a black man's public hairs, you can sign up for Vegan Gains' OnlyFans. Now, quick pump, I didn't exactly tear up Nick Trigili, I just told it to him like it is. Now, I'm not trying to start any other further beef with Nick, but, you know, he had to be set straight, you know. You know, and quite frankly, Bob Ciccarello, I've known him for God knows how long there, since the Get Big days. This was an unmitigated attack. Fuck you, Tater. I'm not 52. I'm 46. But what was I saying? Yeah, me and him go back to the old Get Big days, and you got to understand, the whole conversation between Chick and Dennis James was about nothing. You know, it was just a general discussion. You know, there was no fisticuffs thrown. I mean, Bob and Dennis have been friends for over, God knows how long, for decades. And Nick Trigili's trying to make it into something that it isn't, you know. And, of course, Bob had to spank him, you know, and stuff, so. But also, the biggest thing is he needs to quit using the Mr. USA tag. You know, that's trademarked by the AAU. And the AAU gets really upset, and they get very litigious whenever someone uses their trademark. He needs to go by he can go by the MPC USA champion, but when you call yourself a Mr. USA, that's completely different, you know. Yes, this argument is very recent. But of course, Nick has been arguing with Bob for quite some time. Bob, for the most part, ignores it, but he just went into a 30-minute tirade with him because, you know, I think he just pissed him off enough there, essentially. You know, just saying. So, folks, as I always ask, what are you guys drinking and smoking tonight there? I have a Nicaraguan cigar, Partagas. Have my coffee with my new coffee maker. Now I actually have 3. I bought 2 from Amazon, little 3-ounce ones, by accident. I tried to return the other one, but Amazon said to go ahead and keep it and just did a refund on it and just let me keep the espresso maker. So I have both of them under the cabinets for when I have guests over, and then I have my big 8-cup one that I use in general. So I got my espresso coffee, and of course I got my water. Uncle Hughes. Yeah, we may get to him here. So Uncle Hughes. I think I know who you're talking about. You're drinking Colombian coffee? All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right, come on, let's get some answers. What are you folks drinking and smoking tonight there? You know, it's the last day of the month. Old-fashioned Wally. That's what I'm talking about. You see, that class is rubbing off after being on my show for a while. Old-fashioned, the Macanudo yellow label. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's good stuff there, you know. Trigilli called Joe Pietardo. Yeah, I know. Joe's gonna definitely respond to that. He's gonna definitely respond. I don't know what's going on with Trigilli these days. He seems to be looking for money and start looking for arguments because that's all he does. He's been starting arguments lately, and I've explained to him that that's not a way to build your channel here. Bean Smasher, stay away from the menthol stuff. You don't want that in your system. Trust me. You don't want that stuff. No menthol. Folks, if you're smoking cigarettes here, drop those and get a cigar. You know, I don't really care much for vaping, but, you know, I always tell people to get a cigar instead. Get something that has 100% tobacco in it without any additives or anything. Yeah. It isn't that tater tot. Nick is just trying to make money off of his channel. YouTube is really cutting down on the amount of revenue, so I'm sure he's getting hit as well. So he's trying to make his entire living, but he has old school labs out for some reason or another. Let's see. Here we go. 35 CL bottle, 30 cider. I got you, Andy. You still got some stuff. Zero sugar cherry Coke. Ooh, that's one of my favorites. I got regular Diet Coke. It'll be coming in the morning along with my steak and everything. Yeah, old mama gave me a $25 Walmart gift card there, so Mom always mails my birthday cards kind of early, so you know, I'll probably get a few other gifts there and stuff, but for the most part, most of my family doesn't really send me much there. You know, they don't send faggots anything, you know. When you're out and about in a black family there, don't expect too many gifts. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. But, you know, I don't speak to those people neither, so it's tit for tat, people, you know. And speaking of which, in about 2 hours in Tennessee, speaking of tit and tat, the drag show ban in Tennessee will go into effect. Yeah, I seen the Amin Hughes. Fucking idiot. And the Tate brothers are out there as well. But what I was going to say is that drag show bill in Tennessee is going to go into effect, so no more. Technically, it says adult cabaret shows, but it's specifically targeted towards the drag shows. The biggest thing is that it can't be at a place of religion. A lot of these clubs and bars are going to be within 1,000 feet, especially in a small town. So, you know, I don't get that there, but oh well. It is what it is. What it's going to be is what it's going to be, you know. We'll talk about Amin. Yeah, Andrew Tate got out of prison, I think, today, actually, or got out of the jail. Hopefully he books it back to the U.S., but, you know, I think he's going to try to stay there. Although Romania could have already taken his passport, so that can be a nil situation. No, Amin's video wasn't no good. He's spinning all sorts of conspiracy theories, which is pretty much the best way I can describe it. Yeah, where's my lighter at? Oh. Covered by the coffee. Trigilli's trying to make money. He's trying to make as much money as possible by starting these controversies. And this one with Bob Ciccarello, there was no need for that. None. Nothing. There was no need whatsoever for him to go and attack him like that, you know. Seriously. I don't seem to get things here. So first off, folks, what we can do, if y'all, let's skip on the drag show thing to see what you think. What do you guys think about Andrew Tate getting out of jail? What do you guys think? You think he should book it back to the U.S.? Yeah, I guess they are on house arrest here. Athens, vodka mixed with benzos is not a drink. It's called death in a cup. Don't do that. I think the charges were shaky against Andrew Tate. So I'm glad to hear that they're out. They need to come up with some more evidence. You can't go by someone's word and then just throw them in a slammer and not give bail or anything. It's an allegation. It's not something that's confirmed, you know. Well, Amin is gonna, as far as Amin, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about him. As far as his charges are concerned, I think he's just gonna get convicted, but he's going to plead it out, probably. I mean, hopefully he doesn't try to do a PJ and Aaron and try to fight the case or so forth. He'll get killed. Folks, you can't win against a government. Just remember that. Well, some of them were suspicious as far as all the videos Tony Huge made after his death. Very suspicious. I mean, his suspicion is going to fall because, after all, he died in his house here, so... I don't think Romania was using it as an example. They have no reason to. And Romania is a pretty poor country anyway. So for it's pretty hard for them to prosecute because they're short on cash. So the only thing I really saw of Trigilli is he was just jerking off and stuff and showing his ass and stuff and spreading his cheeks, you know. You know, you get on your bed and you take your hands and then you spread them out there, you know, so that way the people can look at his hole and everything. That type of stuff, so... Yeah, he's got his legs spread and everything, and he takes both of his hands, he spreads his cheeks, and then he turns over and starts beating off there, so. I mean, and Nick is gonna learn the hard way as far as to what happens when you try to hype up things. Well, quick pump, you asked and I answered, so. Let's get the cigar lit. Told you, this is the midnight run. We don't pull no punches here. Nick Trigilli is an IFBB pro, but it did 2 pro shows and then that was it. The reason why he stopped competing is because he had no sponsors. He tried to do, and the reason why, and just speaking on this here, the reason why Nick Trigili did all the gay for pay shit there is to be an IFBB pro, there's a lot of money that's needed. Nick unfortunately didn't have any sponsors at the time, so that's why he went and did that. I told him he should have gotten a job instead, you know. Yes, I know he's married. It doesn't make a difference here, you know. Those videos are still all over the place and him spreading his cheeks and everything, so. Was Trigili packing heat? He was regular average size here, you know. Vegan Gaines' Johnson was bigger, you know. If you wanted to have a dick measuring contest, Trigili's was smaller than Vegan Gaines's. Trigili definitely is not my type. Not under any circumstance whatsoever. Now, Tefano has a little miniature dick. I would say it's about 5 inches there at most. It's pathetic. You know, that's kind of bad that I've seen all 3 of their assholes here, you know, and stuff. I wouldn't consider it research. It's just that, you know, and here's how I ended up seeing all that stuff here, okay? Now, I don't go and search out none of this Pornhub stuff. I don't search out this OnlyFans. It's just that everyone hits me in Instagram sometimes, and they'll say, check out this video of such and such, you know, this nutrition video. Next thing you know, it pops up all these pictures. So usually I get tricked into seeing these pictures anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, 20 is 20. Frank is small. In fact, Frank's video, actually, he had a little makeup on, in fact, I think. It looked like he had some makeup on when he was shoving the dildo up his ass. You know. Any experience with Nubane? No. Absolutely not. It was a popular bodybuilding recreational drug. But I've not heard anyone using Nubane in this day and age. That's some old 90s stuff. How much was my mobile home? Well, last week was my 5th year that I actually resided. I paid $50,000 for my mobile home. Kevin Levrone is not my type. Just for the record, folks, I've only dated maybe 2 bodybuilders, and that's about it, you know. Bodybuilders are not my thing. And when I say date, I mean date. Business is going good. I actually started doing financing for exercise equipment. So business has picked up a bit, you know. I was going to go back to work, actually, but because business has picked up, I'm just going to stay out for another month or so. So for my birthday, I'll stay out an extra month, so see what happens. Because now I can sell exercise equipment, so I should have a lot more money coming in. And then I'll actually see, you know. But yeah, business has been pretty busy. Yeah, we need to have a talk with Lenny. I was in on the live stream as well, Truth One. I saw it. In fact, what Lenny did was illegal, actually. It can be considered felony stalking. But at least his camera's working a lot better than before. No, these 2 weren't mass monsters or anything. So, you know. Jerry Ward abused Nubane. He did cocaine as well. He did a lot of drugs. Whose money do I lend out? I do financing through either Klarma or Affirm. Uh, and I went and also pulled out some money for backup, about 50,000 just in case. So I put that in a business account. And that's in the event that, because there's always a holdover fee for equipment that, these finance companies aren't going to pay me until they completely receive it. So I have to pay in advance. So, But yeah, I finally decided doing it. I'm not a big fan of it or anything, of doing financing, but the way this economy and recession is going, people just kept asking me and asking me and asking me, and I just relented, like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna do it. You win. I should review power tools. I did work at Lowe's, so I do know a little bit about power tools, but yeah. Unless you're talking about a different power tools. If that's the case, get your mind out of the gutter. Lenny had to go to the hospital again. What do you have to go to the hospital again for? I guess I missed that. I tuned in for his live stream for maybe about a half hour, and then I had to get back to work. Guru Amin is not hot whatsoever. My loan originator is the same people that, one thing Warren Buffett has is he has everything tied up into one. You have Clayton Homes, but the finance company is going to be Vanderbilt, which is all owned by one. So everything's all internal. When you go to Clayton Mobile Homes, they take care of everything. Your financing, insurance, and everything. So even if you pay off the mobile home, Clayton still covers it. The trailer's warranty at this point in time has actually ran out. So as of March, which doesn't really matter. So I have my own, and I still have my home insurance that I still pay for. No, I'm not going to go post my taxes, unless I run for office. And I don't think I can run for office from making videos like nigger ice cream or anything, so. I'm just too base for running for office, so you'll probably never see my taxes. Is everyone on Thailand on drugs? No, but a lot of people in Thailand are on drugs. Or actually, I take that back. A lot of people are not on drugs. In Thailand, I was thinking another country actually. Thailand has some very strict drug laws, very strict. You don't want to get caught with drugs overseas. They're a lot more strict than being in the US. Big Lenny needs to take it easy. But he passed out in the gym. Oh, man. Well, maybe he got dehydrated or so forth. He got on the bus and then he was walking outside and stuff. Geez, that's bad. Hope he's okay. I don't wish anything bad upon anyone. Well, I initially financed it and then I paid it off. Because you still got to go through Vanderbilt regardless, their protein bra. So the only thing I'm paying on is just the land. I mean, they're lax on drug laws if you get caught, they throw the book at you. But as far as crime is concerned, Thailand is lax on prosecution, or excuse me, not prosecution, but arresting people. But if you get arrested for drugs in Thailand, they throw the book at you. The good thing is places like Romania and Thailand are so corrupt. A little bit of cash and you can be out of jail easy. Money talks and BS walks. Oh, okay, Truth One. I hope he didn't pass out on his live stream. But still, he needs to take better care of himself. He needs to quit ogling women there. That's pretty bad, you know. I mean, it is a shame that he has to catch a bus and everything. He needs to get a car or something. You know, because here's the thing, folks. When you take a bus and everything like that, that means you run on the city's schedule. You can't run on your own schedule, you know. Now, most people are no longer getting cars or driving as much because of Uber. But Lenny can't afford Uber, you know. So, but he needs to get a car. That's going to be the next best thing. How much did I save? Well, I was pretty much negative 20,000 when I got out of Silva. And I spent very little over the next course of years. I had about 75,000 when I bought the home. I really got into the business and everything, but I was like negative 20,000 in 2016. Lenny's got to earn his own money. And plus, I'm still running a business there, so I need to have that cash available for things like chargebacks and stuff. Well, Tater Tot, I don't have a room to lend Big Lenny. I have a 2-bedroom house. One is for my office / exercise room. The other one is my general master bedroom. Yeah, Jump to. Buses are cheap, but you run on the city schedule. You can't run on your own schedule. You can't go whenever you want to go, you know? Yeah, I know he got arrested there, so, but he needs to go try again. Did I find some Hyatt hot from dusk to dawn? Sort of, for a woman, you know. Who would I peg in the fitness industry? Better question is, who have I pegged in the fitness industry? And what bodybuilder have I slept with? Or what bodybuilders have I slept with? The world may never know. How in the world did Lenny get a PPE loan? What kind of business he doesn't have employees. But he'll do some he'll be in a federal pen if he did something like that. Well, Wally, I wouldn't get a tax write-off for Lenny living with me. He's not a relative or anything. I'm not taking care of him. I can't claim him on my tax forms. In fact, I would actually have to pay taxes. He would be considered a tenant. I never hooked up with Kai Green, ever. I've met Kai Green plenty of times here, but no, that's not him. He claimed to own a taxi service. Oh, Lord. Well, Wally, again, where am I going to put him? I mean, if Lenny was out on the street or so forth, I would let him crash on my couch for one night. But afterwards, I would probably drive him over to like a halfway house. I don't think a night here with Big Lenny would screw up my place completely. You know, I mean, he'd probably eat up all my food in the fridge, but other than that, I can live with that. Truth one, I wouldn't sleep with someone that has the same first name as me, you know. What am I going to be in bed like, oh, Melvin, you're doing, oh, Melvin, give it to me, Dad. I'm like, oh my God. Could you imagine that? You know, I can't go and date someone with the same first name as me. Jay Cutler is blocky. We'll just leave it at that, P for P. Tie tree, Lenny to my tree. No, that would mess with the squirrels. I like watching the squirrels run around in the tree. Do I take low dose aspirin? No. It's not recommended. I mean, my doctor hasn't said to take aspirin. My blood pressure has been dropping a bunch naturally because I no longer work at Verizon, so it's dropped pretty low. A lot of things have now that I don't work there anymore. A lot of stress levels, it's dropped and stuff, so yeah. Well, ZYZ was attractive, you know. Yeah, I pound him there, you know, but, you know, yeah. No, I've never been pegged before. I did have this girl that wanted to peg me, you know, and stuff. We were all drunk and everything. But I think I fell asleep or so forth. Now, if I did get pegged, I wouldn't have noticed there, you know, because I was way out. I was out cold, so it's possible I could have got pegged in my sleep. But, you know, when I woke up, my asshole wasn't sore or anything. Yeah, WrestleMania is tomorrow. I will be watching it. Well, Cody Rhodes is going to win, I believe. The reason being is, from what I understand, there's a custom belt that's been made for Cody Rhodes. That's a world championship belt. And I know the WWE is wishing to change to a new belt from that big old W. But we'll just have to see. Well, Wally, I know doctors say that, but my doctor hasn't said that. If my doctor tells me to start taking baby aspirin, I'll do it, you know. Never try to take something that your doctor does not recommend or doesn't tell you to, you know. Well, truth one, I wouldn't get any money from Lenny. You know, he doesn't have a job or anything. Well, thick cut, I do have aromatase inhibitors, but I'm not going to use that until I finish my cycle. No need to, especially with my testosterone level still being pretty low. You know, it'd be just interfering with it. Now, I may get some estrogen blockers, but other than that, that would be it. They said they're allowing live streams. I'll really have to check that out. If that's the case, I'll do a. It wouldn't be a bad idea to do a WrestleMania party. But that would be kind of odd. But YouTube would still flag it anyway, so it wouldn't make a difference. No, I wouldn't date Sean G. Wally, Wally, Wally. If I go in live streaming and I get banned, that means all of my YouTube channels get banned. Not just this one. And I'm still trying to develop the second one, so, yeah. That channel's going to end up having a lot of subscribers to it, at least 10 or 20,000. Because it's going to be all about finances, so that channel's going to grow pretty quickly. Well, thick cut, I can't really discuss dosages there. As far as over the counter estrogen blockers, there are some that work there, like the stuff that Gaspari Nutrition used to sell. But other than that, most of them have those same general ingredients in it there, like Mexican wild yam and stuff like that. So I wouldn't read too much into it. The only two over-the-counter estrogen blockers that I've noticed that worked was the stuff that was made from Gaspari, and then the one from my old sponsor company, ALR Industries, and that's about it. Yes, PJ's gonna get out in December, or even sooner than that, but he'll be out of prison pretty soon. So he's got about 8 months left. I think they took a little bit of time off of him. Now PJ is, when he gets out, he's really pissed at Aaron, so he's probably going to go for him. So Cena or Austin Theory? Austin Theory. John Cena's not going to come back full time as a wrestler. I mean, the reason why probably Cena's doing it is to pass the torch to Austin Theory. That would be my guess. To officially pass the torch on. Austin Theory is the future of WWE. Let's just put it that way. He's the future of it. Austin Theory is awesome, He is a great wrestler. He's good on the mic. He works with people, he learns. He has an open mind, has the right attitude. That's why Vince McMahon likes him. But Austin Theory he's going to be the leader of the company for quite some time. He is going to be the next John Cena. He may not says he wants to be like him, but he's going to be John Cena. They're going to try to put him in the position. So Austin Theory better not screw it up. But so far, he's freaking awesome, He's going to really build the company. I don't have any recommendations per se for cortisol blockers or so forth. I think that has more to do with good nutrition there, thick cut. When it comes to cortisol, as well as being just being smart with your training. Don't overtrain, because that will affect your cortisol levels. I know a lot of people don't say that there in particular, but if you work out too much, then it'll start messing with your cortisol levels. If The Rock makes a surprise appearance, that would be pretty cool to see. So we'll see. Andrew Tate was cut loose. Yes, we discussed that earlier, but from what I understand, he's on house arrest. Davidoff cigars are awesome. They're great cigars. They're properly rolled. I've never had one that burned unevenly. They are kind of expensive. Now my cigar lounge that I usually go to, Boda's, they started selling Davidoffs here. Not every cigar lounge does sell Davidoffs, but they're great cigars. Yeah, Gunther's awesome too. He can really wrestle. He's also going to be the future of the company as well. They're going to be passing a lot of torches. No problem, dude. Gunther versus Drew and Sheamus. I think Gunther is still going to win. Thoughts on LA Knight? Honestly, I think he's boring. I mean, at least they cut loose that modeling type thing, but, when I think LA Knight, I think of a homosexual, I mean, that's, I would think of a gay prostitute. That's when I hear LA Knight, that's what I think of is a gay prostitute. But they need to change his name at least. But the WWE, they're making people change names. They don't want to use a person's real name. That way they can trademark it. Vince McMahon is like 80 years old. Come on, man. Really? I mean, LA Knight is a good wrestler, but he doesn't have a good gimmick right now. I think Mysterio is going to retire probably this year. And he's going to give the mask over to Dominic, and Dominic is going to wear the mask. But right now, they got Dominic paired like Eddie Guerrero, basically, you know. So they may actually keep that. He may, but eventually Dominic will put on a mask. I mean, that's going to be tradition. Well, Wally, yeah, I think Roman Reigns may lose this year. Because, like I said, they have a custom WWE belt that was made for Cody. Now, why would they do something like that for if he's not going to wear it or show it, you know? Ruben Studdard is fat, you know. No. I always say to push up the gut in order to get in the ass, but that's way too much gut, you know. That's not something you can prop up with a stick, you know. I'd have to get one of those cranes with a hoist in it in order to lift up that gut. Which one, Susan? They didn't really shoot her up. I seen the video. They got her with a couple of shots. But what do you expect? I mean, she shot up she shot 3 kids, you know. She shot children, 9-year-old children. How in the world can you shoot children? You know? Fucking bitch, you know? I mean, God oh mercy, you know? How can you go and shoot children? Would I date Robin Quivers? No. I mean, she's like what? She's in her 70s or so forth. I mean, come on, really? These are some really old people, you know? Thick cut. I'm probably going to put a lot of my old videos that were banned off of YouTube on Rumble. But yeah, I'll be on Rumble pretty soon. I mean, the thing about it is, it's pretty easy for me to load a video on YouTube, so why not load it on Rumble as well, you know? I mean, I can load both of them at one time, so there's not a point in the not loading on Rumble. That includes shorts here. The only thing I'm not going to use is TikTok because that's China stuff. Well, she Tater Tot still 70 some years old. No, wouldn't date a 90s one. Neither. No. Did I ever listen to Opie and Andy on Howard Stern? Yes. And I listened to Artie. I used to listen to Howard Stern all the time on XM. Did I ever have a tongue piercing? Yes, I did have a tongue piercing at one time. And I had earrings. Again, that was the 90s. I didn't keep it too long because I hated it. Or hated it. NBA Youngboy. Who is that? Is that a rapper or something? Where are they coming up with these names? That's probably a rapper. Someone asked me that about 20 minutes ago, Big Josh. No, I won't date Sean G. Well, Wally, yes, the 0 WWE logo's on it. it may be official. I mean, the WWE is going to be changing their belts here, you know. I never liked these WWE belts anyway to begin with. No, no quick boink neither. Yeah, I'm not going around chasing tail anymore, you know, folks. I'm an old man, you know. I'm an old man. Quick boink. Yeah, the belts back then were great. You know, I think there was one outlet that showed their new belt. You couldn't. It was so humongous you couldn't put it on. Now, the best belt that I ever seen was a North. It was not from the WD. It was I think it was, what was it? It was not American Pro Wrestling. It might have been but I like the North American belt. It was a big giant square belt. I seen it on Terry Taylor. He had it for a while. That was a cool looking belt. Yeah, the Eagle belts was awesome. I like the Stone Cold one with the smoking skull and everything. Yeah, thick cut. Some people won't, are too young to get the In Living Color reference, but they will get it eventually. When was the last time I smashed? Sometime last year, mid last year. I smashed a woman too last year. Again, I was drunk. But for the most part, it was swinging dicks there. And in case you guys are wondering, yeah, I'm still gay. It's not going to make much of a difference. Protein bra, yeah, I've been high a bunch before, so. But it's been a long time since I've been high. But I won't be smashing any other chicks. That was still in early last year when I was still working at Verizon, when I was still going out and doing business meetings and getting really sizzled and everything. Big Josh, if I was dating a boyfriend, I probably wouldn't due to all the abuse that he would probably get. I mean, my ex husband still gets pestered and everything. And I tell them to quit it, you know. Did I smash Jasmine? No. She's in Canada anyway. Hmm. But yeah, like I said before, being gay doesn't mean I'm not going to have a little bit of fun, you know. Conrad Thompson, who is that? Oh yeah, He's a fat guy that's married to, I think, one of Ric Flair's daughters. Uh, yeah, I think he's all right and everything. Anyone that's in the Ric Flair family has to be good. Has to be all right. Yeah, ecstasy's kind of addictive. I've taken ecstasy before. Yeah, Jasmine looked a lot better, but then once they met Richard, it just that's just the results of stress and arguing all the time, along with poor food habits, dietary habits. Am I still attracted to women sexually on some level? No. And the woman I smashed was a trans man, so yeah. Still had a pussy, so yeah. I'm still not attracted to women, so I've still had more sex with women than men, but but she could have fooled me. But I went down there, put my hand down there, did the old crocodile Dundee test and everything, and well, didn't have no cock and balls. I didn't feel no hot dog and two apples or anything. It was, well, I'm like, what the hell. Well, Dale, it wasn't an issue because when I was growing up, I thought it was just a phase, so that's why I slept with so many women during my teenage and all the way up until probably I never slept with no dude until I was like maybe 22 or 23. It was very late. Other than that, I was running a train on women. I figured if I pounded enough women, I can get the gay out of me and stuff. I'm just being honest with you, folks. Being gay for a black man is the black race frowns upon homosexuality more than anything. Now, if I was white, I wouldn't have no problems coming out of the closet or anything. But for a black person, and especially during the time that I was growing up in the 90s, you didn't come out of the closet in the 90s in high school. No, that just didn't happen. Hell no. This this chat room runs a train on me every single live stream. But as far as in a physical way, no. I hate felony muscle. He's a jackass. Would I smash Brock Lesnar? No, but if I tried to get into a fight with him, he would smash me. Will being gay get you more chicks? That doesn't make much sense. Yeah, Tater Tot, I'm a faggot. I'm a homosexual. I'm also black. I'm Ditsum, Charco Briquette. A Moulion, you know, a Nubian warrior. Hmm. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. Hmm. I mean, I love being black, folks. You want to know why? Because I'm proud of my heritage. I'm not proud of the black folks that are running around like a bunch of monkeys right now. They need to go back in history and they need to take the advice of Benjamin Banneker You know, and Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver. You know, a long time ago, black folks used to have pride in themselves. You know, my people used to have pride in themselves. They would work hard and stuff like that. But year by year, it just keeps going into the downslope. You know, most of these rap artists are just modern day minstrel shows at this point in time. You know, dignifying a poor portrayal of, what black people are supposed to act like. Yeah, Tater Tot, that is from The Sopranos. You mean Chris Canyon? No, he was an awesome wrestler. Him coming out of the closet is very questionable. I think he just did that to get attention. You know, it's possible he could have taken it up the ass or so forth. Can't ask him now because he's dead, but George Washington Carver, peanut guy. You know, a lot of stuff that are made of peanuts in this day and age is because of George Washington Carver. Well, Kanye West was wrong. But yeah, black culture has gone really way down. And, white culture has also gone down. I mean, look how white people are acting. I mean, white people that counter have no pride in their own heritage. And in fact, some of them are apologists for black folks. I seen on TV where white people were getting down on their knees and wanting to get forgiveness for black folks there. I mean, stand up. Stand up for your race, for crying out loud. I don't want some white person getting down on their knees. It's disrespectful. I think racists have lost their pride there. It's like a lot of white people don't want to be white. I don't seem to get that. That's your heritage. You should be proud of your heritage, where you come from. If you're Scottish, you should learn Scottish history on how they fought the English, and won back their land and stuff like that. If you're Irish, you should be proud of your history. When the potato famine happened, the Irish came to the United States. They were treated worse than black folks there. They were called dumb micks and stuff like that. But they went and worked in the mines and worked their way out of it. Did you know that they actually paid the Irish less than they paid a black person in most places? The Irish got paid the least amount of money. People have the misconception that black folks in the 1800s were paid less. No, it was the Irish. The Irish got paid a lot less than black folks back then. No, a white man would get 25 cents, black person get 15 cents, Irish would probably get 10 cents, Irish got the least amount of money. Black people got paid more than Irish people. Even though they were white, they were, Irish was really getting their shit kicked in. Well, Andrew, it's because the problem is everyone's got this woke culture there. And what actually happens is with woke culture, they try to remove bits and pieces from history. What is going on with that camera again? Every once in a while, that thing gets fuzzy or so forth. Hopefully it straightens out. It's probably the bandwidth. But, that's the problem with woke culture. Once you start removing elements of history, at this point in time, people forget how things were, and then you have a degradation of society. It's like an anti-heritage type thing, There's always a cause and effect to everything. I told this guy who had Irish blood, I mean, he was clearly Irish and everything like that. I told him about the potato famine and everything, how they moved. He didn't know jack about it. He didn't know about his own Irish heritage, That's kind of bad. Well, the Irish should get reparations, Black people should get reparations and stuff like that. But here's the thing, Tater Tot. Just because you deserve to get something doesn't mean you should get something, you know? Here's what would happen as far as reparations are concerned. Let's say we gave black folks or any folks reparations. You know what happens? I end up getting less money because that money would be taken out of my taxes that I actually pay, you know? It's the passage of wealth there. How would you, and the thing about California, those are the biggest idiots of all. And I'm going to explain why. Why is California, first off, wanting to give $5 million to every black person? First off, that's a lot of money. Number two, California was not even a state that even had slavery to begin with. So we're talking about a state that wants to give reparations, and the state never had any institution of slavery whatsoever. It makes no bit of sense. I can't fathom that, you know? It's like G.G. Allen says, you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve, you know? Now, me, the great one is not gonna. The great one has never waited around for reparations. I didn't wait around until I got the United Negro College Fund or anything like that. I went out and worked. All right, I worked at Taco Bell. I went to the library. I read. You know, I didn't wait for my school to educate me. I educated myself. You know, I educated myself on Black history. You know, by going to the library. You know, every chance I got. You know. And that's how I learned how to work on computers and websites and stuff like that. It's all free. The information out there is free. You just need to go to a library, crack open a book, you know. And at this point in time, you have the internet. Well, I wouldn't so much trust the internet or so forth. I still prefer books. The problem with the internet is there's so much misinformation, especially Wikipedia. You know, it changes around to someone's interests. My ancestry is mostly black with Italian in it, maybe like 10 or 15% Italian. Now, I'm not 100% El Negro, if you're wondering. But yeah, folks, make sure you learn what your culture and heritage is. It's not racist to be proud of your Irish or Scottish or European heritage whatsoever, you know. But the other community wants you to make your, you know, the thing about it is that in society these days, there's nothing wrong with black pride and black heritage. When it comes to white heritage, it's portrayed as being racist, you know. That's not right, people, you know. That's why we have an anti-culture of things, you know. You know why I value heritage so much? You know, that in itself actually prevents racism if people know their own heritage and you know your own history. Because guess what, folks? If you know your history, you're not going to repeat it, you know, plain and simple. If you try to bypass history and standards, you forget about your culture. You forget what your people have actually done, in other words, you know. Sorry about the rant, folks. You know, I'm just. Hopefully, I've made a point on things. Am I lactose intolerant? No. I mean, I eat. I have yogurt twice a day. You know, I have yogurt about an hour or two before I go to bed. You know, it's important to get a lot of calcium to build strong bones. But no, I'm not lactose intolerant. The only time I'll have milk, although I don't drink milk, the only time I would have milk is if I have some shredded wheat, for example, those big old bricks and everything. You know, I will heat up some milk and I'll pour it in. It's really good. But I'm going to make this clear to you folks just to summarize. Having pride in your heritage, white, black, or so forth, white or so forth, it's not racist, okay? Make sure you learn your freaking heritage, you know? Jeez. Well, Lo, I may actually do a bodybuilding contest, but it would have to be sometime next year. Like I said, my testosterone levels are returning. I'm training a lot more, but I'm going to need to wait until the test clears out my safety fat. I mean, it's clearing out fat, that's for sure, around my belly, you know. So, I mean, that's definitely a good thing. Yeah, that's good for your stomach, gut, and everything there, Justin. Nothing wrong with being a redneck, neither, you know. That's heritage as well. You know, I'm from the South, folks. I'm proud to be a Southerner, you know. Yeah, there was slavery back then, you know, and stuff. This was probably one of the most racist states around, you know, South Carolina. A lot of racism back in the 40s and 50s. But guess what? I was born here and I was raised here, you know. And I will stay here in the South. I will not move to the North or anything. I've been to the North, you know. I've been the most racist place out there. The only time I've ever been really called the N word is actually in Asheville and in other liberal places. You know, Cleveland, I was called the N word and stuff like that. New York, N word. You know, it's like it's. Well, eventually, all the races are going to combobulate there. I mean that'll happen in maybe like 2 or 300 years. Did I ever train at Planet Fitness? Yes. When my schedule was not when I started back at Verizon in 2016, you know, my schedules were at random, so I needed a 24-hour gym, so I would either train at Planet Fitness or Coops Fitness. I can definitely bring in a better physique now that I'm on steroids. I can already see that happening there, Low. I really can. I only grill chicken. I don't. I hate fried greasy foods there, Low. I mean, I like my foods dry. You know, I don't like gravy or sauces or anything like that. You know, I like my food dry. Sean Ray is actually the same way. Sean Ray likes his food dry. He doesn't like gravies neither. Not with all those tattoos, Andrew. I would never date Joey Swoll. Like I said, it's more for me to date someone. It's more of a personality type thing than a looks thing. Joey Swoll does not have a good personality. My testosterone was low because I had used steroids a long time ago and then I stopped. It was just dropping from place to place. Alongside of that, I'm in my mid 40s, so my testosterone's naturally going to drop. So with that, my testosterone levels dropped a little bit earlier than what it should have dropped. It started dropping when I was around 30 or so. Sure, Lamar, I can review your live stream off cam. Yeah, I saw Ryan McMantis. He started his channel. You guys should subscribe to him. His channel, he got started, and so far he's doing pretty good. He just needs to turn the camera around to the side, you know. I mean, but I did the same thing when I filmed my first video. Hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. You know, we got a couple people missing. Where's Scatman and Jolteen and Pugman or so forth? A lot of people missing today. Of course, I do see some new people here too, so, you know. Blaha has a poor physique because he trains for powerlifting, but he has some pretty horrible genetics. Yeah, I've met Stan before. I've met Stan a bunch of times. Like I said, I've met most bodybuilders in the fitness industry. I've not met none of the new ones. I've never met Rolly, or I've not met Rolly before. I've not met Big Ramy. I did meet Hottie. Got pictures with Sean Roden. Me and Sean Roden's been pretty good. Oh, there you are, Scatman. What's up? Hey, Joel. There you guys are. I go and mention your names and woof, you go and appear. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. All right, Protein Bro. I'm glad you're gonna always be here. You know, the only time you're not gonna be here is when my live stream ends. Your 3 comments didn't show. I don't think I've had anything blocked, although YouTube will automatically just pull some comments. I can't do nothing about that. Well, Wally, I don't block anyone. I don't block anyone trolling. I don't block anyone. Big Josh, I don't even know what Pugman looks like, you know. I don't spend time blocking or removing comments or anything like that. I let YouTube do that. So if your comments are blocked, just to let you guys know, it ain't me. I'm curious. No, he's not streaming. Let's see. Vegan Gains is streaming. Let's see what he's doing. I don't know what happened to Dean. He actually, Dr. Ratpool's not HIV positive. Dean Malanga, I think he deleted his channel or something. I hadn't seen him in a while.
My company will literally work with you until you land your first client. Guaranteed.
Oh man, at this point,
I don't even know how the fuck they can.
Worst child support case. You know, lately Richard's been reviewing a lot of Genova's old videos here, so it looks like he's moved to something else. I don't smoke weed. Stuff gives me a headache. Well, Wally, that's more power to him, you know. Ad blocker. A lot of newer browsers, Scatman, have those new ad blockers. As a result, people have noticed that revenue has gone down because of that. I don't really care, you know. I think everyone has a right to use whatever browser they have. But eventually, YouTube is going to have a workaround for those ad blocking web browsers. And Batman, straight, yeah, he's straight there, Quick Pump. Batman's always been straight, as far as I know. What's my lifting routine? I've moved back to full body workouts. I change it around from time to time. Sometimes I'll work out a body part a day or so forth for about a month, and then I'll do full body workouts. You know, just rotate my training routines. Well, of course, people have a right to block ads. It does affect revenue. That's why it's, you know, just about every channel on YouTube and other social media has gone down way in revenue is because there's more ad blocking options that are available. And then a lot of my videos like this one is going to be limited because of the language that I've actually used. So I won't get any revenue from this year. I may get maybe like 50 cents at most after a year's time. I don't do hip thrusters there, Tater Todd. I think it's a waste of time. There's plenty of exercises that naturally work the hips. Thoughts on donuts? I hate them because I used to get them all the time. My mom worked at Krispy Kreme for almost 30 years, so when I was growing up, there was always donuts in the house. So I've eaten enough donuts to where I'm just completely sick of them. I won't say I won't have a donut without a cup of coffee at 2 a.m. in the morning and everything after I get out of the club, but, you know, I have to really because it's a sugary thing, you know, I don't eat sugar or anything that much. Well, whenever I date or anything like that, I'll come home, I'll get my 2 mocha pots, we'll have coffee, you know, either that or we'll just get down to business. But always, when it comes to dating and everything like that, sometimes that we just go out on a date. If we don't connect or anything like that, you know, we'll walk in the park, we'll chat, we'll be friends, we'll head home in our direction. So a date can go any type of direction, you know, and stuff. Lamar, if you use a webcam, yes, for the most part, it automatically switches over. I'm streaming at 720p. I do stream a little bit lower resolution simply because that helps out with the bandwidth and it doesn't crash, you know. Once I have fiber or cable, I will stream in HD actually. No, Big Josh, he was just an employee. I do seated bicep curls. Those are some of my favorite exercises. I've just never been a sugar person, you know. I mean, I've started some of my diet food. I got I went to Sam's Club and I got a bunch of Clausen's pickles and stuff, and I got cucumbers. I usually snack on cucumbers and stuff like that because it's very low in calories. So I'll slice them up, put them in a bag or so forth, or just slice them when I'm ready to eat them. But I eat a lot of cucumbers whenever I'm dieting down in place of candy bars and stuff. But cucumbers are awesome. Me and my ex-husband used to grow cucumbers in the garden there. And cucumbers grew really good in Silva. I mean, really good. We always had bushels and bushels of cucumbers. Cucumbers are very healthy. They got a lot of water in them as well. I like ranch dressing. I have that on hot wings and buffalo wings and on French fries and stuff. It's not a few didn't slip. Cucumbers are good for diet food. Like I said, I'm starting to eat a bunch of my food so that I have competitions.
Scatman here, Daddy. You might ignore this as you do to all my comments. Maybe it's because I'm half Albany. It's okay though. Also, have you ever watched some good Scatman prono? It's not bad, just a bunch of guys doing steamers. You'll love it.
Scatman with a $5 donation. No, I'm not gonna watch scat porn. I don't want to. You can't jerk off the shit, you know. At least I can't. Some people like it. I don't. But again, thanks for the donation. Like I said, I'm not blocking your comments, and I don't see your comments being blocked, which means YouTube is just removing everything, not even giving a chance for any type of review, you know. That's what I've tried to warn you guys. At some point in time, even though I don't block comments or anything like that, YouTube may do that. I've never had any bowel movement issues with cucumbers. But again, thanks for the donation. Cucumbers are healthy, you know. And they're quite filling too, you know. And they're very low in calories. My week has been going awesome there. I spent a lot for the new, to process and do financing and everything like that. And people seem to like it. So I'm going to keep doing that. And then I'm going to start, I am now selling body solid equipment. I've sold 3 pieces so far. And I expect to sell more, so that definitely is going to help out on my income. Do I prefer watermelon? I don't like watermelon. The reason why I don't like watermelon is because it's got seeds in it, you know. When I eat any type of vegetable, I don't want to be spitting out anything. Joel, I'm not high at all. What's my favorite thing to grow in the garden? Cucumbers and tomatoes. And then I'll also grow peppers as well. Cucumbers are pretty easy to grow, as well as lettuce. Lettuce is awesome to grow. Lettuce only takes a couple of weeks in order to grow. Cucumbers require a lot of water, but they're worth it because once they start growing, you know, they'll pop out from the yin yang. I've already said my say with Cuban, you know. So he can do whatever. Crusher Joe takes place in the dirt. Oh, I love the Dirty Pair. That's an awesome anime. Yeah, I'm familiar with the Dirty Pair and a little familiar with Crusher Joe. My favorite cheese is actually Gouda, actually. And mozzarella and Parmesan. But my favorite is actually Gouda. Yeah, cucumbers are good with seasoning. I just prefer eating mine plain. How come blacks don't make cheese? I mean, I don't think white people make cheese. Most people get their cheese from a grocery store. I mean, one part of soul food is macaroni and cheese, so you're kind of wrong about that. Kaizen, there's no need for me to make homemade pickles. You know, it's just easier just to pick them up from a grocery store. Well, cucumbers do have some nutritional value, but the thing I like about them is, you know, I can eat a bunch of them and, you know, it's very little calories. If I eat a big giant whole cucumber, it may be for the most part like 20 calories because cucumbers are mostly water. So when I eat cucumbers, they're quite filling. And they're very low in calories. Well, in Africa, you know, cows were not very common. But the cows that were there, they didn't use them to make cheese. They usually just drunk milk, either that or they would actually drink the cow blood, in other words, or drain out the blood and make things like, what do they call that British stuff? You guys know what I'm talking about. They'll mix it with bread and stuff. I'm sure there's a European on here that knows what I'm talking about. Blood pudding or something. I don't peel mine, Scatman. I just cut them up and eat them. I wash them off. I always eat the skin with my cucumbers. It does give fiber. Why go and peel it anyway? It takes too much time. Just cut off the 2 tips on it, cut it in half, and munch, munch, munch. NZAKKO, what's up, man? No, you're dropping in late, but we still got 30 minutes, so just be sure to get your questions in. Oh, black blood pudding. Okay, gotcha, Scatman. But the reason why in Africa they regularly use blood, because there's a lot of protein, a lot of calories. The cow will just build it right back up. It doesn't kill the animal or anything. The British are known for food like the Irish. 5-hour stream? Oh, no. Like I said, I have a lot of orders coming in, so I'm trying not to do as much work as before, Macho Man can cut a promo? Well, I only got one thing to say. Ooh, yeah, Macho Man. I could cut a pretty promotion because I'm the Southern Heavyweight Champion of the world. I'm not aware of Jane Genova making a OnlyFans. That would be quite disgusting. Oh, I love fish and chips. They got a nice little British restaurant near downtown Greenville. They have a really good fish and chips, and they make it the right way. They don't use vegetable oil. They actually use lard, They use animal fat in order to cook the fish, which is the way you should make a good fish and chips. Well, Wally, it's not going to be the first of the month. Like I said, I may do a Midnight Run UK. That's what I'm planning to do, actually. And that live stream will start at 5 o'clock, and probably afterwards, since it'll be so early still, I may do like a movie thing right afterwards. So I think that'll be good for everyone, because a lot of people in Europe, it's like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, so I don't want people staying up. So I'll probably do a midnight run. I will do a midnight run UK. I don't know when I'll start that. I may even start it tomorrow, so just look out for that. Tater Tot, I don't block anyone. Wally, the best thing to make fish and chips with is with haddock, not so much as cod. So I prefer haddock with my fish and chips. Well, yes, beef tallow is good with burgers because it's beef and beef mixing together, I do have 2 British subscribers. All the more reason why to, do a midnight run at 5 o'clock for the UK. And I can do a couple of extra things. But someone suggested it, and we'll give it a try, There's nothing wrong with doing a try with the runs. I was really good at Mario Kart 2. What was the last video game I beat? Trying to think. Probably Tankin'. No, yes, I beat Legend of Zelda, the one for the Wii, actually. No, I never beat that. I almost finished it. My ex-husband finished that Zelda game. And Majora's Mask. Have I seen the movie with Kevin Costner and Clint Eastwood? If they made a new one, I've not seen it yet. But they're 2 great actors, so it has to be a pretty good movie. I think that's the end of the cigar. So remember, folks, twist, not jab. I'll be right back. Gotta take a break. All right. Oh. Kevin kidnaps a kid that steals a Casper the Ghost costume. Not heard of that. You'll have to give me the name of the movie. It's possible I may have seen it before. I always love a good Clint Eastwood movie. Who is in the new Expendables movie? I don't think they've quite settled it. But I think it's going to have a new generation of actors anyway, because a lot of them are getting old. Bruce Willis, you know, he has the that disease and everything like that, so he's retired from acting. Harrison Ford is getting up in age. Chuck Norris is getting up in age too. Am I going on vacation? I will probably be at the Charlotte Pro next month, but I don't have any vacations planned or anything. Wonder why this thing gets fuzzy. It's probably the cigarettes or cigars. Stallone. Fitness, Expendables, Genova, Lenny, Blaha, Michael Hearn, Scooby. Other than Genova and Lenny and the Blaha, Michael Hearn, me and Scooby, we're cool with each other. I've known Scooby for a while. I've not spoken to him in like over a decade. Big Rob Fitness is a terrorist. Hopefully, hopefully the government has him on a no-fly list or so. I don't keep track of Clint Eastwood's blood work there, but he works out regularly, so. Leo hasn't put out much content. That's mean, Tater Tot. That is mean. Shizzo, a lot of people are looking for you on Get Big. Where have you been? Seems as though actually people do give a shit about you, so I guess I was wrong about that. But you need to go post on Get Big, tell everyone that you're okay. I don't know. It's probably the bandwidth there, Scatman, because like I said before, I don't have cable or fiber. If Big Trips was transitioning, he would make a very ugly woman. Oh, boy. Yes, indeed, he would make a very, very ugly woman. But he's okay. No Blood Work was the name of the movie? Okay. No, I've never seen that before. You tied that's a lot of weight there. That's pretty good. I was never friends with Art. I knew of him there. Get Big doesn't deserve me. Shizzo, I've told you this a bunch of times before, and I've said this before. You're not in the bodybuilding industry, you know. That's why a lot of people have. That's one of the reasons why Get Big has an issue with you. There is because of that, you know. I mean, along with faking your death and everything, I won't get into all the other stuff and everything. You need to find your own path, Shizzo. I've told you that before. Or if you want to be in the game or so forth, you got to put some skin in the game. Set up a blog. Just do something that's fitness related. Your situation is the same thing with conservative Cuban. He's in the he somehow has muscle. He's nosed his way in the fitness industry when he really isn't in the fitness industry. You get what I'm saying? It's fine to be a fan of it, but when you start trying to discuss something that you don't know, then that's an issue. But go back in any event, whether you want to go back on Get Big or not, just at least tell everyone you're okay. People are actually worried about you. 10 plays long ago. It's focusing on my trophy. It's a possibility. It'll clear up a bit. Andrew, I think that is the real Shizzo. It's the bandwidth. The same thing similarly happens to Big Lenny, or so forth. But mine's a little bit more focused, so it'll get slightly blurry and then it'll go back. Whenever it goes blurry, it's not really so much as going blurry. It's just that the bandwidth is actually dropping. You see, when the bandwidth gets a little bit low, YouTube will switch it over from 480 down to 320. So once the bandwidth comes back, it'll go back to normal. Yeah, Cuban does have some liberal ideals and stuff like that, you know. But for the most part, he is conservative. No, it wouldn't help if I bleached my skin. What was the name of that baseball player that bleaches his skin? Yeah, Sammy Sosa. I mean, he's practically white at this point in time. Regional competitions are good to go to because that's where I mostly meet the athletes. It's not crowded like a pro event or so forth. So it's good to meet athletes there. If you really want to meet up with athletes, go to a regional or a local show. Like at a local show in Spartanburg, you know, I hung out with Lee Haney for a little bit. Michael Jackson didn't blend his skin per se. He had that Villalago stuff, you know. So he had to use a skin cream in order to, you know, cover things up. Fair-skinned people are treated like royalty in India. Well, that's the same in Asia. Asia favors white skin. The reason being is because generally people in Asia that has dark skin have usually worked out in the rice fields and stuff. It's like a symbol of being poor, you know, in other words. That's why Asian culture frowns on dark skin and likes the lighter skin. Lighter skin is a symbolism of, you know, wealth per se. He didn't transplant his skin, Scat Man. He had vitiligo. There's actually pictures of Michael Jackson with a little cape, where sometimes where he didn't put on all his makeup, to where you can actually see where he had vitiligo. But he really did have that. All right, folks, we got 20 minutes left, so get your questions in. Vitiligo can start at an early age or it can progress later in the years. It's possible that I may end up with vitiligo, you know. That can happen to anyone. And what happens is it's a degradation of your melatonin levels. So if your melatonin levels start going really low, then that's when the skin starts, that's when the dark skin comes out. Because remember, your body replaces your skin every couple of days. So once it starts happening, that's when things start getting patchy. Sleep over with minors. You crazy, man. You crazy. Oh boy. Folks, what are y'all doing this weekend anyway? Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do this weekend, honestly. Got groceries coming in. The house is clean. I'm not going to work on any real major projects. Well, Billie Jean is clearly about someone that Michael Jackson dated. Just not sure who. Blood sugar level of 500. Wow. Back on yeah, you'll definitely need to be back on insulin. That's the thing about insulin. If you go and abuse it there, Kaizen, then your body stops producing insulin. It's no different than testosterone. Once you start using testosterone and you continue to use it, your body no longer produces testosterone. Andrew, you already know the answer to that as far as dating Joe Biden is concerned. I mean, he's in his 80s. Well, good for you. Enjoy your time at the Swordfish. I'm not going to go to the Swordfish for probably a couple of weeks or so. I'm going to be busy. What I'm going to be busy with is loading up all of these new fitness products. And that's going to take a great while because I got to get pictures and descriptions and everything, and I have to load up options. Good deal, Thick Cut. Everyone should start up their YouTube channel. I'm going to start making more I'm making basically no-face videos with my other ones, so along with a couple of motivational videos. Essentially I'm just reading off a script in front of a camera, and that's it. Yeah, it's going to go back to normal once the bandwidth goes back up properly. So yeah, it's back to normal. Hopefully it stays that way for another 18 minutes. You're going to do a conservative Cuban merit? Well, make sure you drink a lot of coffee there. You're probably going to fall asleep. I've listened to Cubans. To me, he's kind of boring, Not very dynamic per se. Firearm channel. I mean, I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment, but the only time I ever watched anything with firearms related, really, y'all guys remember the show Mail Call with R. Lee Army and so forth? The drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. I watch that show every single week, Mail Call. Y'all guys remember Mail Call? That was an awesome show. I've watched a lot of Tony Hughes' videos. The only ones I don't watch is that Thailand stuff. I think the last one he had one of his friends dress up as a woman and walk around Thailand. I thought that was kind of disgusting. The finance channel is not completely done. I have to have my people get the subscribers up. They're going to take care of that. Mail Call, M-A-I-L, Mail Call. It's an army term it's a military term when you get your mail, it's mail call. That wasn't what you asked. You'll need to be more specific. As far as I've watched Tony Hughes videos, I don't know who Tony Hughes' uncle is. Yeah, the Gunny was a great actor. It's a shame he passed away and got sick and everything, but he was up in age anyway, so. Okay, Scatman. I didn't see that. That was one that I've not seen that video yet. So no, I don't really have an opinion. I can't have an opinion naturally on something I've not seen. All right, folks. 15 minutes left. Get your questions in. Want to throw any money in for the swordfish, which I won't go to. Well, I won't be there for the next couple weeks. So if y'all want to throw in some early birthday gifts there, you're welcome to do so. Oh yeah, I definitely watch MASH, Hawkeye and BJ Honeycutt and stuff. I do got a good story about that. If you watch the first two episodes, you'll see a black person as one of the doctors. The reason why they took him off was of his name. And don't laugh there. The doctor's name in the MASH book is Spear Chucker Jones. So when you have a doctor that's named Spear Chucker Jones, right around the time when it was filmed around the civil rights movement, it doesn't fly too well on TV. That's why they took him off. No, not Gunny from the gas station. Nobody. Well, that's a good thing, Justin, that no bodybuilders have passed away, you know. No, I don't have dyslexia. I can read perfectly fine. You should see his movies prior to that. He did I can't remember the name of the movie where he played a drill sergeant before in another older movie. It's not as well known. But originally he was gonna only be a consultant, but once they listened to him and stuff, when he was demonstrating what a drill sergeant acts like, that's when he was put in the park. Now, I do have a story about that. You remember the guy that was the machine gun person, the helicopter machine gun, was saying, "Get some! Get some! Get some! Get some! Yeah, come on, get some! Ha! Come on, get some!" Remember that guy? That guy was supposed to actually play the drill sergeant. But because Gunny was so good and was replaced, that he was left out in the open. He still wanted to be in the movie, so they made him the helicopter pilot, you know. But he was supposed to be the drill sergeant, actually. But now he's the get some guy. I think it worked out for him pretty good. I skipped lines like a pair. I'm going to miss some there, you know. And some of them, again, Scatman, YouTube is going to block anyway, so I won't be able to see them. Machine Gun Kelly. Isn't he dating that girl from Transformers, the movie? No, I fired a machine gun before. Remember, I was in the Army for a hot minute and stuff, so, yeah. I'm not fired anything.
Happy early birthday Vincenzo Goodrum, the great black Italian stallion, turning 25, turning into such a beautiful creature of a human being before our eyes. Keep up the amazing ments. Also, it is true about Jane Geneva with OnlyFans.
Andrew with a $5 donation. I definitely appreciate the compliment and the birthday money. If Jane does really have an OnlyFans, post it in the Delray Misfits board, and I'll check it out and see. What's the favorite line? Deliverance. Squeal, squeal. Yee! Yee! I think my favorite line is to get some, or I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Kaizen, I'll be honest with you, someone will make a movie about Jason Genova one day. I'm not joking. They will make a movie about Jason Genova. Squeal, squeal. Eee! Arr! Yeah, Johnny Bravo, and there was another guy, Daft something here. He made a movie about it. I've not seen him in a while. Like I said, I can impersonate a bunch of different voices. I mean, but remember, I was in the pro wrestling business at one time, so I'm pretty decent on a microphone. That was a pretty good cigar. Well, Scatman, we're here to have fun, folks. It's Friday, you know. I always want to make my shows enjoyable. Well, I just mentioned them, Scatman. Apocalypse Now. You know, Full Metal Jacket. You know, there's a number of catchphrases. Spaceballs. You know. I like the assholes part, you know, and stuff. Or Michael Winslow when he did, "Sir, please, sir, I got the beeps, the sweeps, and the sleeps. You know the beeps? The sweeps, and the creeps." Well, yes, I've listened to 80s music. You know when I listen to the most 80s music? In the 80s. Have another for a longer stream. I'm not going to do longer streams. I'm going to keep them at 2 hours. I'll just do more live streams. Just separate them and stuff. Bloods or Crips? Neither. Both idiots fighting amongst each other. They're part of that degradation of black society as well. I did see the Mighty Ducks. I've never seen Little Giants. Not Carl Winslow. Michael Winslow. He's the sound effects guy from Police Academy. I did do a 3-hour live stream a couple weeks ago. But I think I like keeping my live streams at 2 hours because then it can get monotonous after third or fourth hours. That's why I don't do super long live streams. Irish Kyle, I would have to have a much deeper voice in order to do Irish Kyle. Hitama Yamagishi, I can't do his voice. Or Hidatama. Sorry, I pronounced it wrong. You know why he got that part in Family Matters? I think everyone knows why he got that part. It's simply because he played the cop in Die Hard. Because he played the part in Die Hard, I mean, they made him a cop in Family Matters, so... And I think it was a pretty good idea, too, you know. You know, that show was only supposed to... That show originally, Family Matters, was supposed to be about him and his family. And then the second episode, they brought in Steve Urkel, you know. And he just brought the show down. That's the same as Happy Days. Once they brought Steve Urkel was like the Fonz from Happy Days. Once they brought him in, they pretty much took over the show. That's why on most of the DVDs, it shows a big picture of Family Matters. You know why they don't mind it? Simple, because he's still gonna... Reginald Johnson, he's still gonna get more royalties than Steve Urkel, you know? That's what's in the contract, you know? So he'll let Steve Urkel... they'll let him promote Steve Urkel to death because that gives him just more royalties. It's no different than Eazy-E You know, Eazy-E was making a lot of money off Dr. Dre because he still owned the contracts and the rights to Dr. Dre. That's why that lyric part is Dre Day only make Eazy's payday, you know. Do Cleveland from Family. This is the Cleveland show. Eh. Well, I think a white person played Cleveland, so it'd be hard to do that. I could do Jerome. Yeah, Family Matters is pretty cool. Yeah, TJIF, yeah, I love that. Although still, I was still watching the Dukes of Hazzard and the A-Team, you know, and stuff. But yeah, I always watch TGIF. You know, there was Family Matters, then Perfect Strangers, and then Blossom, which, okay, it was okay. I did like Mr. Belvedere. I thought that was a pretty cool show. And of course, Alf, you know. Who couldn't love Alf? Alf was an awesome show. You know, they have Alf on Pluto TV. No, I didn't play West Coast music. If I got caught in the hood playing West Coast music, I would have gotten beat up. We only played East Coast music when I was growing up. Nobody played West Coast music. Because there was a real East Coast West Coast beef. It wasn't just between Pac and Biggie. It was a nationwide thing. It's part of growing up. Golden Girls. I mean, I'm gay, but I've only watched maybe 15 minutes of Golden Girls. I didn't like the Golden Girls. I know a lot of gay people love the Golden Girls, and I just play along with them, but the truth is, I never really watched the Golden Girls. I thought that was kind of boring. One thing I did watch was Are You Being Served? And then I watched all the episodes of Grace and Favor. I sometimes watch Grace and Favor still, and I'll watch all the episodes. I like that show. I watched a lot of British TV on PBS at night. I watched The EastEnders, Are You Being Served, Last of the Summer Wine, and stuff, Upstairs, Downstairs, stuff like that. Blossom made me come out of the white girl closet. Are You Being Served was a good show, but it's one of those other shows that got pretty much canceled, you know, because of the humor that was in it there. Mr. Humphreys, mainly. Oh, God, I love Benny Hill. I never watched the movie You Got Served. That is New Kids on the Block there, Scatman. Didn't listen to Backstreet Boys neither. Listened to NSYNC a little bit, but not Backstreet Boys. Just slightly a little bit of NSYNC. I liked NSYNC better than Backstreet Boys. If I had to take a pick, but I didn't really listen to that music. I think NSYNC was cool because of Justin Timberlake there, which I felt he was always good, and then he really showed off there, you know. I didn't watch Mr. Bean. That was somewhat after my time. Yes, I did definitely watch Keeping Up Appearances. That was a good show. Yep. Then there was another show. Maybe that was Keeping Up Appearances. Hold on a minute. Let me Google that. There was another show that I watched after Keeping Up Appearances. Yeah, I watched that show, but there was just one more. It was about a guy that dated this girl back 40 years ago, and then they got back together and got married. I can't remember the name of that show. But they had this pretty cool guy up there. His name was like Ross. He always was dating and doing these money things and stuff. Did you hear about the Crimea River? I didn't hear about that. I appreciate that, Zacharias. Definitely glad you're here, though. So, yep. Seize the day. Does anyone know the name of that show? I need to Google that. British show about. Can't remember the name of the show. Really. Dang it! I just have a brain fart for some reason, and I can't figure out why I cannot remember that. I really can't. I'm kind of irritated that I can't remember. It's probably all the drinking and stuff. Russia invaded the Crimea. Yeah, Russia is making its ins and outs, but it's almost like us and the U.S. is fighting the war for them. What is the name of that show? I need to look that up. British shows on PBS in the 90s. Ah, there it is. As Time Goes By. Yes. Watched all the episodes of that. That was an awesome show. Yeah, Mr. Wizard was pretty cool. I remember when he cooked the hot dog, electrocuting a hot dog. And Monty Python. Yeah, As Time Goes By was a great show. And then, of course, there was... Oh, I remember another one. One Foot in the Grave. That was a pretty cool show. I didn't watch too much Doctor Who or anything. It was... I mean, like I said, when I was growing up, you know, I had my black and white TV. And I was upstairs. So, because I was upstairs, we didn't have cable upstairs. So, at nighttime, I would... That's why I watched a bunch of PBS. It was one of the few channels I could pick up upstairs. But folks, it is midnight. And that is the end of the show. I want to thank Andrew. And I want to thank Scatman for donating for my birthday. I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a midnight run UK. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it tomorrow. We shall see. But I got a little bit more work to do tonight, folks. Normally I would. I was thinking about trying to carry it on until 1 a.m. possibly. But I got way too much work to do. And I want to make sure I get all of it done before the weekend. That way my weekend is free. So again, thanks again for tuning in to the show. I will see you next time, folks. Make life the way it is there. You only got one. It's not a dress rehearsal, folks. And as always, peace.